After the Tour of Flanders last week, the Cobble Classics come to a close with the third monument of the year, Paris-Roubaix. The Hell of the North is a bone-shaking ride through northern France and will test the riders to their limits. Defending champion John Degenkolb won't be present, nor will last year's third place finisher Greg van Avermaet, with both on the sidelines nursing injuries. There's still a strong lineup of contenders due to start in Compiègne on Sunday, and here are cycling news' 10 riders to watch for Paris-Roubaix. After years of close calls, Peter Sagan finally laid claim to his first monument victory with an emphatic ride at the Tour of Flanders. The monument was perhaps the final thing for the Slovakian to tick off his list, and winning in Flanders will be a monkey off his back. The world champion has been going great guns throughout the spring and has put himself forward as the man to beat. Sagan looked strong at last year's Paris-Roubaix, but a stomach problem and a mechanical issue put paid to any shot at victory he had. With Fabian Cancellara set to retire at the end of the season, Paris-Roubaix will mark the close of a stellar Classics career for the Swiss rider. Cancellara has won Paris-Roubaix on 3 separate occasions, most recently in 2013, when he beat Sepp van Mark in a thrilling finale. This Sunday will no doubt be an emotional moment for Cancellara, as it was at the Tour of Flanders last weekend. The emotion appeared to get to Cancellara in Flanders, and he'd be keen not to let that happen again. Victory here will put him up with Roger de Vlamingh and Tom Bonen as the only 4-time winners. Along with Cancellara, Tom Bonen will be one of 3 former winners at the start. The race will mark the final time that the pair will do battle on the cobbles. It's a moment that will be felt more by the fans than the riders themselves, but one last duel will be a great way to put an end to their rivalry. However, it remains to be seen what Bonen is capable of. He's not looked at his best this season, but the cobbles of France should suit him better than those of his native Flanders. After winning almost anything he started last spring, Alexandre Christophe has been on the back foot for most of this year's campaign. Set back by illness, Christophe was unable to defend his Tour of Flanders title last weekend, but was still pleased to win the sprint for 4th place. Following that performance, Christophe is now aiming for his first podium at Paris-Roubaix on Sunday. The Katusha rider has never performed on the Roubaix cobbles as well as he has in Flanders, with his best result on 9th place in 2013. Zdeněk Štýbar is the only member of last year's podium finishers to return for the 2016 race. Štýbar had a strong start to the spring, with 2nd place at Strade Bianche and a stage win at Tirreno Adriatico, but that's not turned into success at the Classics. He was Etix's Quick-Step's best finisher at the Tour of Flanders with 8th place. It's one better than he did last year, and he'll hope it's the same for Roubaix. Štýbar has generally gone better on the flat course of Roubaix compared to the hills of Flanders. Luke Rowe has been making big steps forwards in the Classics in recent years, and this season has seen him move even closer to the top contenders. In the absence of teammate Geraint Thomas, Rowe shined in the early cobbled races. He carried that good form into the Tour of Flanders and finished a career-best 5th place, well ahead of his more experienced teammates. It all bodes very well for Paris-Roubaix, where his true heart lies. Rowe finished 8th here last season, and he could well take his first monument podium if it all goes well. Lars Boom is at a crossroads in his career, with his contract up for renewal at the end of the season. The Dutchman is reportedly considering a move back to cyclocross, a discipline where he's been world champion in the past. Before he makes any decisions, he has his eyes set on Paris-Roubaix. Boom has been on good form throughout the Classics, but suffered some bad luck at the Tour of Flanders. He'll be hoping that it's all behind him now, as he tries to improve on his best result of 4th at last year's Paris-Roubaix. Nicky Terpstra is the 3rd former winner set to ride the 2016 edition, and with no John Degenkolb, he's also the most recent. When Terpstra won in 2014, he took advantage of a Megafarmer Quick-Step's numbers to stage a late attack and solo to the line. With 3 riders on this list, the Quick-Step team no doubt go into this year's race with a numerical advantage again. Terpstra has looked the strongest of his teammates this spring, but the challenge for them will be getting the tactics right. It's been a big year for Sepp van Mark so far this season. The Belgian got engaged and is due to be a father for the first time, and he made the podium of the Tour of Flanders for the 2nd time in his career last weekend. Van Mark made his name at Paris-Roubaix 3 years ago when he pushed Cancellara right to the wire, only to be beaten in the final sprint. If he can hold on to the form he's shown during this year's Classics, he should be able to at least match that result.